listen, Daniel now is a world champion. Yeah. For me, first it's Tyson Fury, second Anthony Joshua, and then is Daniel Dubois.
And do you think this Dubois is a much better Daniel Dubois than the first one you fought?
I have no idea. Now Dubois world champion. Yeah, a little bit better.
Joe Rogan recently dropped a bombshell about the massive paychecks that Alexander Usyk and Daniel Dubois are set to take home for their highly anticipated heavyweight rematch.
No, you start to say they just have the numbers that Usyk and Dubois are getting. How much? 132. Damn. Oh, wait, 32 and 71.
According to Rogan, Usyk is in line to pocket a jaw-dropping $132 million, while Dubois will rake in $71 million, making a total of $199 million between them. This revelation has sent shockwaves through the combat sports world, especially when compared to the considerably lower paydays most UFC fighters get. It underscores just how lucrative the sport of boxing can be, especially when the stakes are as high as in a heavyweight showdown between two world-class fighters.
No, you start to say they just have the numbers that Usyk and Dubois are getting. How much? 132. Damn. Oh, wait, 32 and 71. Yeah, look at the numbers. 132 million and 71 million. Yo, that's crazy.
I thought you said numbers. I thought you meant views.
No.
Numbers.
Numbers for purses.
As the countdown to the rematch ticks down, the drama surrounding the fight is far from over. Usyk, known for his unshakable mental fortitude, has made it clear that pressure is something he doesn't succumb to. A week before the fight, he posted a picture on his Instagram where he looked in peak shape, accompanied by a powerful caption that said, "Pressure doesn't exist when you're the one who creates it." Usyk's words seem to be aimed directly at Dubois, who will be looking to exact revenge for their controversial first encounter.
Like, I can't see Daniel not catching Usyk. And if he catches Usyk, could hurt him. Could hurt him. I've watched him spar. I've seen some behind the scenes stuff. I've peeked behind the curtain, if you like. And he is in incredible shape. Mentally, physically, emotionally. Like, this is the best version of Daniel Dubois there's ever been. This simply isn't the best version of Alexander Usyk. It can't be, it isn't. Go and argue with yourself. It's not. You can't be the best version of yourself at 38. No matter how you live the life. I don't care if you are a nun. I don't care if you've never taken a drop of alcohol. I don't care if you've never had a tough fight in your life. 38 is 38.
The first fight between the two took place in 2023 at Wrocław Stadium in Poland. It was a bout full of drama, as Dubois landed a punch in the 5th round that sent Usyk to the canvas. However, the punch was ruled a low blow by the referee, allowing Usyk to recover and eventually win by knockout in the 9th round. The controversy surrounding that moment has lingered, and that's precisely why this rematch is happening. Fans and experts alike have been left wondering what would have happened if the punch had been ruled legal. Was Usyk truly on the verge of losing, or did the stoppage allow him to regain control? This lingering doubt has fueled the anticipation for the rematch.
I thought it landed precise. We worked on that shot over for a long time in camp, so we pulled it off, and yeah, I feel like they robbed me out of that.
Yeah, you feel like you're robbed from a victory?
Yeah, definitely.
Is it a weakness? Does he have a weakness to the body, Usyk? I hear people talking about it all the time. He still hasn't been beat, but
yeah.
Is there a weakness there?
There might be. I think he's been down a few times with body shots, so yeah, there's definitely. This time I got to throw the kitchen sink at him, land everywhere.
Ahead of the fight, several figures from the world of boxing have weighed in on the chances of both fighters. Tony Bellew, a former world champion who knows what it's like to face Usyk, has given Dubois a slight chance, though he remains skeptical. Bellew has pointed out that for the first few rounds, Dubois will be dangerous, as his raw power can certainly pose problems. However, Bellew believes that after 4 rounds, Dubois' weaknesses will begin to show. His tendency to fade in longer bouts has been a point of concern, and against a technical boxer like Usyk, that could be a major disadvantage. Usyk has faced all kinds of styles and sizes, making him a master at adapting to whatever an opponent brings to the ring.
So we've seen them do the wrong things in the past. We've seen him take a knee, whatever have you. But the best way to explain Daniel Dubois is he's a 27-year-old veteran. He's experienced everything the boxing can throw at him. He's been dropped, he's been down, he's been stopped, and he's found a way back. And he's now on the back of his biggest ever victories. He's on his best ever run. You know, the victory over AJ was something else. For me, I think Daniel Dubois' big chance here is the first 6.
He carries his power late though.
No, he does, but
slows down a bit, doesn't he?
It's not that he slows down. It's up here with me. For
well,
Daniel
yeah,
Dubois.
you're right.
It's all the problems are all up here because I think as a fighting specimen, as an athletic specimen, the boy's a machine.
Amir Khan also weighed in, offering a more balanced view. Khan acknowledged that Dubois has looked much more impressive in recent years, especially following his victories over Miller, Hrgovic, and Joshua. However, Khan warned that Dubois needs to be careful not to get too overzealous. In their first fight, Dubois was tentative, which allowed him to last longer than expected. Khan worries that this time around, the Brit may abandon his caution and fall into the trap of recklessly attacking Usyk in an effort to land a knockout punch. That could play directly into Usyk's strengths, particularly his counterpunching and impeccable timing.
Dubois, especially with the last couple of wins that he's had, and the knockout against Anthony Joshua, his confidence is going to be there. He's going to start bleeding. He's younger, he's fresher, he's going to have a lot more to give and show. And because it's a good fight now, you know why? Because when he fought the first time, he really wasn't a name when he fought Usyk. And it's caught with that body shot. He knows he can hurt him. He thinks it was a legit body shot that put him down. But it got counted as giving him time. It was a low shot. But at the same time, I think Dubois now is a different fighter to what he was the first fight. So now
Yeah, I agree.
I think he'll give big. But then again, Carl, you know, fighters like that who might have more confidence and they'll go into that fight against someone like Usyk and saying, you know what, I'm going to do this more now. I'm going to try this more. I'm more confident. I'm more of a better fighter. They're the ones that might get outclassed even easier. Maybe because when he was fighting him the first time, he was careful. He was smarter. He knew, he was very cagey, thinking, I don't know what I'm going to expect. I'm fighting the best ever, you know what I mean? In Usyk, one of the best pound-for-pound fighters in the world. But now, because he might be overconfident, or he might think, I've got his number, I know how to beat him, and he opens up a little bit more, he'll end up getting caught more, he might get hurt more. Might be an easier fight for Usyk.
On the other hand, Duke McKenzie, another former world champion, sees the fight as more competitive than many may expect. McKenzie pointed out that Dubois has undergone noticeable improvements since their first meeting, particularly in his technical ability. While Usyk remains the superior boxer in terms of skills, McKenzie believes that the growth Dubois has shown could make this rematch much more of a challenge for the Ukrainian champion. McKenzie's view reflects a common sentiment that while Usyk remains the favorite, Dubois' new, more refined style could push him further than many think.
Between Usyk and Dubois is the best of the best. We've got the two best heavyweights on the planet going head to head again. Now, you know, I'm a big fan of Daniel Dubois. I'm probably a bigger fan of Dubois than I'm of Usyk. I like Usyk also, but I like Dubois and I like everything he stands for, everything he represents, and the way that he carries himself. Tip Dubois to beat AJ, and at a point where the whole nation or a lot of people were picking AJ to win, I looked at Dubois and I thought to myself, you know what? He's a good all-rounder. He's got some good moves. He hits hard, jabs well, good stamina. You know, so there was a lot of tick boxes, and then I did the tick box on AJ, and Dubois came out on top for me.
Dillian White, a heavyweight with plenty of experience, provided a more cautious outlook on Dubois' chances. White noted that Dubois has been vulnerable under pressure, particularly in his previous fights with Usyk and Joe Joyce. But White also acknowledged the growth that Dubois has shown, especially in his recent victories. If Dubois can stay composed and manage the pressure, he might be able to pose a genuine threat to Usyk. His ability to handle the mental side of the fight will be key.
But anyway, I think it's a very good fight. It's a very good fight because obviously they met before. Obviously, you just have to see what Dubois turned up and what Usyk turned up. You know, obviously Usyk's very consistent. Usyk's very, very consistent. Dubois has been consistently, but he's had some inconsistency in his career as well. You know what I mean? Obviously the two ones that stick out is against Usyk and against Joe Joyce. You know what I mean? But obviously, you know, But Usyk has always been consistent. You know, this fights he's been hurt, fights he's been, you know, wobbled and stuff, and he's such a consistent professional. You know what I mean? But Dubois has got power and he's got confidence, and right now he's flying high at the minute. So it's hard to pick a winner right now.
Perhaps the most intriguing perspective comes from Tyson Fury, who is undoubtedly one of the few people who knows Usyk better than anyone else. Having fought the Ukrainian twice in a pair of epic battles, Fury admits that while he isn't ready to pick a winner, he recognizes the challenge Dubois presents. Fury acknowledges that Dubois has the power and physical attributes to make things interesting, but he also understands the mental strength Usyk brings to the table. Fury's advice to Dubois is simple. If he's to win, he must knock Usyk out. Given Usyk's resilience and ability to adapt in the ring, a points victory seems unlikely for anyone facing him.
I'm sad for it.
Final one, Usyk, Dubois or Anthony Joshua, who would you rather fight? Just hypothetically.
Who would I rather fight right now? Usyk. Because I want me revenge in England. That's all I want. I want a fair shout. And I don't believe I've got a fair shout the last 2 times. So I don't know what I'm going to have to do, because I can't leave it go to the decision. I'm going to have to knock the cunt out. But yeah, that's the one I want. But if I don't get that, then it'd be Joshua, the biggest British fight that will ever happen. And it would break all records, and it would sell out 100,000 at Wembley in an hour. And it's a fight that I think can happen for sure if I decide to come back and the deal's right and all the other shit that goes with it.
What's the one bit of advice you'd give to Dubois against Usyk?
You'd knock him out. Because I wouldn't say that, because it's in England and, you know, it's on his home show, so just do the best you can, that's it. Best you can. He hurt him before, the body shot put him down heavily, so maybe he can land that same body shot.
Among the more enthusiastic predictions is from Spencer Oliver, the former European champion, who is backing Dubois for an upset. Oliver believes that the young Brit has made significant strides since their first encounter, and that his improved technical game could make a difference in this rematch. While Dubois was once seen as a brute force fighter, Oliver feels that the 25-year-old is now a much more well-rounded and disciplined boxer. This shift in approach could make things far more difficult for Usyk than their previous bout, where Dubois relied primarily on his power.
Daniel Dubois beats Alexander Usyk.
How do you get to a point where you, besides the emotive connection with thinking that Daniel is in a better place than he was before, there's been no decline in Usyk, and we know we've got Krzyzak in the background leaving him as a promoter, but none of us think that's going to really affect Usyk. I've described Daniel Dubois as an irresistible force that might just be coming up against the immovable object. How do you reach the point where you are aligning upon Daniel Dubois beating Usyk? And we've been wrong every time we've put against Usyk, it's gone the other way.
I was going to say, firstly, do not agree with me, because you do get them ones wrong.
I do agree with you, by the way.
Oh, you do?
I think that's because I want it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, look.
So you're both picking Dubois?
No, yeah, absolutely. So I know Daniel Dubois. I see him work from day to day. I know what they're working on tactically. Go back to 2023 when Dubois lost to Alexander Usyk, and you say, all right, yeah, look, they seem quite far apart there. He had his moments, Daniel, but Usyk was sort of leagues above him then. Alexander Usyk has not got better since then. There's a lot of miles on the clock since then. There's no sign of deterioration. But what I'm saying is Daniel Dubois is a different character, a different animal from then.
You're saying that Usyk has not got better since fighting Daniel Dubois?
Yeah,
even though he's dealt with Fury.
Yeah, absolutely. That doesn't mean he's improved. I think the two
Don't
fights
mean he got worse either, does it?
No. The 2 fights with Fury. I'm just doing this. It's a calculated gamble. I think the 2 fights with Fury would have put some miles on the clock with Usyk, and Daniel Dubois, since the Usyk loss, has improved dramatically. And I mean dramatically, not just physically, mentally as well.
David Haye, another former world champion, echoed similar sentiments about the timing of the rematch. He pointed out that the fight taking place in London could work in Dubois' favor, as the home crowd will undoubtedly provide an emotional boost. The energy of the British fans could be the extra push Dubois needs to rise to the occasion.
You know, he's got a chart, he's got a massive shot, but how do you bet against someone who's never lost? He doesn't know what it's like to lose. But I think if there's ever a chance for Dubois to beat someone like Usyk, it's now with the momentum he's got. You know, at home, he's got everything in his favour, and you know, Usyk has got nothing. He's got nothing to gain really, because he's already beat. But he done the same thing with Tyson Fury and AJ. Gave them both rematches and done it better the second time round. So I'm really intrigued in this fight, and you know, everyone's going to be behind Daniel Dubois. You know, he's a great guy.
Sure.
straight down the line, but he's fighting a wizard. He's fighting someone who doesn't know what it's like to lose, and yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if we get another Usyk victory, but I also wouldn't be surprised if Usyk starts showing signs of age, hard training camps, all those amateur fights, world championships, amateur, the WSB, he's done so much, so many rounds on the clock, so many miles on the clock. He's pristine.
According to Joseph Parker, Dubois will need to demonstrate immense mental strength and remain focused throughout the fight if he hopes to dethrone the Ukrainian. The New Zealand boxer emphasized that Dubois' mindset will be a crucial factor in whether or not he can avenge his previous loss to Usyk. For Parker, this mental toughness is perhaps the biggest challenge for the British fighter.
You're so close to your dream, of winning the championship of the world. It could be Usyk, it could be Daniel Dubois. Is there anyone you prefer? Is there an easier fight, or do you?
Whatever fight's available, Usyk and Dubois are fighting. So whoever's next on the list, whoever's the next best on the list, I'll fight, and then just keep going down the list until I can find someone I can fight.
Okay. Who do you see as the more dangerous opponent, though? Usyk or Dubois?
I believe Usyk. I believe Usyk is a great fighter. Dubois is a changed fighter from his first fight. But then this is why we had the rematch, to see whether Dubois can overcome what he got stopped with a jab. Yes. He did. A lot of people were also questioning the body shot. I think it was a low blow.
Shannon Briggs, the former heavyweight champion known for his confident and often boisterous personality, is backing Usyk to come out on top. Although Briggs acknowledges the toughness of the challenge Dubois poses, his belief in Usyk's skill and experience makes him confident that the Ukrainian will prevail. For Briggs, while Dubois undoubtedly has the power to make things interesting, Usyk's overall talent and ring experience will be the deciding factors in this bout.
Shannon, Usyk Dubois, 2 weeks time. Who you got for that one?
Tough one, but I got Usyk. I got Usyk, yes.
Prince Nassim Hamed has a more optimistic outlook for Dubois. Hamed feels that if the British fighter can tap into the same raw power and intensity he displayed in their first meeting, without committing any fouls or illegal blows, then he might have a legitimate shot at causing an upset. Hamed's confidence in Dubois is largely based on his unpredictability, which he believes could pose problems for Usyk. He notes that Dubois' willingness to take risks in the ring makes him a dangerous and unpredictable opponent who could, with the right approach, catch Usyk off guard.
Fury, AJ next, you think both of them coming off losses? It's the fight we always wanted to see as domestic boxing fans.
Yeah, I suppose that fight is right there, and everybody still wants to see it. But to be honest, we've still got Daniel Dubois, and I was sat next to Daniel Dubois.
Triple D, baby.
Triple D, baby, all day, every day. Let me just tell you this. In my eyes, for me, he's the only one. Triple D is the only one, Daniel Dubois is the only one that's ever hurt Usyk and put him down on the floor, made him think. And he was down there for like 3-4 minutes. So who's to say that once he fights Usyk again, to go out there and absolutely destroy him and bring our belts back to our country like it's supposed to be.
Derek Chisora, who has fought both Usyk and Dubois, believes that Usyk's consistency and adaptability will ultimately be too much for Dubois to overcome. Chisora points out that Usyk's composure under pressure is one of his greatest strengths. In their first encounter, Usyk demonstrated incredible resilience, recovering from a rocky start to stop Dubois in the later rounds. Chisora's analysis suggests that while Dubois has certainly improved since their first meeting, Usyk's superior boxing intelligence and ability to adjust during the fight still give him the edge.
Derek, in regards to yourself, are you going to just sit back and see what happens with Dubois and Usyk first?
Yes, because I want to sit down and watch it. So, give a shout out to Daniel. Good luck anyway. You'll be fighting a guy who's very on point. So, yeah, I'll be watching.
Meanwhile, Dave Allen, a heavyweight who has sparred with Usyk, offers a more balanced perspective. While he too recognizes Usyk's superior boxing skills, Allen also sees that Dubois has made significant strides in terms of his technique and strategic approach. Allen predicts that the rematch will be far more competitive than their first encounter, suggesting that Usyk will face a much tougher test of his adaptability this time around. Allen believes that Dubois' improvements will challenge Usyk in ways that the first fight didn't, making the rematch a more closely contested affair.
I think Dubois will be in. That's my early prediction. I know a lot of people will obviously fancy Usyk, and rightfully so.
And as much as I like Dubois and think he's getting better and all the rest of it, I'd like to see Usyk win. I think Usyk's a great fella and a great fighter, but I think Dubois will win.
The rematch between Alexander Usyk and Daniel Dubois is shaping up to be one of the most exciting heavyweight fights in recent memory, with both fighters coming into the bout with high stakes and clear motivations. Usyk defending his undefeated record and Dubois seeking redemption. This promises to be a contest that will not only showcase the technical brilliance of one of boxing's best, but also the raw power of a man looking to prove he belongs at the top. While Usyk is the favorite, the improvements Dubois has shown in recent years, combined with the home crowd advantage and Usyk's potentially weakened form, make this rematch far more unpredictable than many initially thought. Whether Usyk can prove he's still the king of the division, or if Dubois can pull off the upset of a lifetime remains to be seen. But one thing is for certain, this fight will be a spectacle.